Welcome to another episode of Dr. Jester Rants. I'm gonna talk about your past. Don't do anything that might cause the Puritans, the Neo-Puritans, to console you because you failed your purity test. It's mind-bogglingly stupid. Boeing top's communication exec resigns over article about women in combat he wrote 33 years ago. The article was written in 1987 for a naval magazine when he was a US Navy lieutenant. Boeing Senior Vice President of Communications resigned this week following a complaint about an article that was written 33 years ago. New Golightly resigned from the aerospace giant on Thursday after a co-worker resurfaced an article regarding women in combat roles that he wrote in 1987. Golightly has since called the decades-old article embarrassingly wrong and offensive. Well, technically, that's not wrong. Women generally are not that good physically compared to men. Men would certainly walk longer, would in fact survive the combat a lot better than women. It's just a fact, just a scientific fact. Men have more muscles than women. Men are stronger than women. That's just biology, that's just scientific fact. There is nothing absolutely wrong in that. You can try to argue about it, but you're just simply arguing against biology. That's science, scientific fact. Men, for instance, even all facial structure, everything in our body is different. It's evolved to be stronger than women, to hunt. That's why we endure more than women. Sure, that he could argue that women should never serve in the military, and I may or may not disagree entirely on that concept, but women do have their spaces in the military, but not frontline combat. On that, I'll have to disagree. Women really shouldn't be on frontline combat or combat roles, mostly because they are not as strong as men. And for instance, let me show you a difference. On male skulls, for instance, this area here has kind of like a hook. That's for our mandibles to hold extra tools when we are hunting or when we have something else in our hands. We used our mouth as a third hand. We also have another hook over here at the back of our skull, right around yam. Right here, that's where our muscle kind of grabs it in our skull and pulls around here, so it creates an extra strength on our mandibles to hold a particularly heavier tool. And that's one of the things that anthropologists and archaeologists use to identify bones between male or females. Yeah, see, that's the gender. There are only two genders. Science again. See? This is what they use to identify male and female. One of the features, obviously. Another is here, around here on the skull line. And then we have ethnicity and racial features. For example, diamond-shaped eye features here on the globular eye. Obviously, the chin for genders again. Then we have ears, then we have the skull joining lines and other stuff that I'm not going to go through right now because that's not the objective of this video. But this is just a feature to highlight the differences between gender and sexes and ethnicities. Another difference is the hip bone. For example, the male hip bone has a larger structure, whilst the female is lower the structure is lower, so you have the childbearing features, so the baby can fit comfortably on the hip, and then it opens up a little so women can then pass that baby through it when they're giving birth. That's difference between genders, and once again, two genders, two sexes. Here, let's get back to the article. Cole likely stepped down because he wrote an article arguing that women shouldn't serve in the military. Yeah, I might disagree on that one, mostly because women could serve, but in other roles, non-combat roles. They could, for instance, secretaries, or maybe, I don't know, I could argue, for instance, that they could be used as a moral booster and stuff like that. Golightly served in the US Navy for 14 years, including as a fighter pilot and as a speechwriter to the Secretary of the Navy and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That role could, for instance, be passed to women. Fighter pilots I see as a bit of a problem, considering that males could, for instance, survive a negative G or a positive G environment much longer than a female. He was a US Navy lieutenant when he wrote the article titled No Right to Fight in the December 1987 issue of Proceedings, a monthly magazine published by the United States Navy Institute that was founded in 1873. At issue is not whether a woman can fire the M60, dogfight MiGs, or drive tanks, Golightly wrote in a naval magazine. Introducing women into combat would destroy the exclusively male intangibles of war fighting and feminine images of what men fight for: peace, home, family. Okay, maybe what he wrote, okay. Before leaving Boeing, Golightly released a statement on the situation. Never, ever apologize. Never, ever apologize. Ever. My article was a 29-year-old Cold War Navy pilot's misguided contribution to a debate that was live at the time. Golightly said in his apology, see, never apologize. My argument was embarrassingly wrong and offensive. No, it wasn't. The dialogue that followed its publication 33 years ago quickly opened my eyes, indelibly changed my mind, and shaped the principles of fairness, inclusion, respect, and diversity that have guided my professional life since. Obviously, diversity, because why diversity? Of course. Let's see what I have decided interested. Okay, the dialogue that followed the article is not a reflection of who I am, but nonetheless, I have decided that in the interest of the company, I will step down. Golightly stepped down as communications chief for the commercial jetliners manufacturer after talking with top executives, including Boeing President and CEO David Calhoun. I greatly respect Neo for stepping down in the interest of the company, Calhoun said in a statement. Calhoun added that Boeing has an unrelenting commitment to diversity and inclusion in all its dimensions. Golightly was only with the company 6 months after he was named for the position of Senior Vice President of Communications in January of this year, 2020. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Really, you can't have a skeleton in your... Well, okay, you can't have a skeleton in your closet when it's actually kind of dubious. But what I'm referring here is you can't say something that will sometime in the future be considered objectionable and questionable. Imagine if you said in the past that, let's take Hillary for instance, because why not? She used to be against gay marriages. Now she changed her mind because, well, votes. And then suddenly it becomes questionable in this year, in 2020. That's questionable. Will she get cancelled? Of course not. She will never get cancelled in this year because, well, moral consistency is not something the control left is known for. But she used to have impurities in the past like that one. But, gonna get cancelled today? Never. For instance, a NASCAR driver got cancelled because his father said the N-word in 84 or 82 or something like that, in the 80s. But his father, not him, his father got cancelled. No, his father said it and he got cancelled. Whoa, that's just incredible. Purity tests. You gotta pass them. If not, you get cancelled. Whoa. It's really mind-bogglingly stupid. Why would you cancel someone or somebody because you did something that was acceptable in the past and now because of Puritanism or because the cultists said, no, that's not pure enough. That's not pure, that's wrong. Even if science says you're wrong, no. Even if science disagrees with me, no. No, you're not pure. That's just bullshit. Really bullshit. I'm gonna stop here before I start ranting on about science, because science says you guys, your Puritans, your cultists are wrong. There are two genders. Women are not as strong as men. Women have her own advantage. Women complements men and men complements women. That's why neither men are absolutists nor women are absolutists. They complement each other and they make, when together, they thrive. See? Not controversial argument, but 2020. That's controversial. Take care. Good night.